It is the morning commute at Clayoquot Sound. Workers are on their way to Creative Salmon, a salmon farming operation near Tofino on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Creative Salmon was founded in 1990 by a group of investors dedicated to producing indigenous Chinook salmon. Chinook salmon are native to BC and are well adapted to these waters.
They're a bit of a finesse fish, they're different. They're a very active and energetic fish, constantly moving, constantly swimming.
The company operates 6 farms in the Sound. Each site is made up of 8 pens, 30 meters square and almost 20 meters deep.
At any one time, there's only 4 sites with fish on them. What we'll do is we'll do 2 complete grow-out cycles on one site, and then it will sit fallow for 2 complete cycles.
The fish in this pen are about a year and a half old and ready for market. The harvest vessel arrives ready to take on fish. This crew harvests twice a week all year round, rain or shine.
Make sure you get the lead line over the corks, guys. It's got to be over the corks.
This may be a farm, but these fish still need to be caught.
We're basically getting the seine net ready. So we're putting the net in the water. What we're going to do is we're going to drag this net across. We drag it across at a specific depth. Basically just try to catch a bunch of fish, pull them over into the corner for the harvest. So we're going to pull this seine net across and try to catch some fish. That's the plan anyway.
The crews use the net to move the fish toward the harvester, which is ready to take the salmon on board.
Perfect! We know that there is 29,000 fish in this pen, and we're trying to catch 3,300 today. So optimally, we're trying to do it in 2 seines, so we're going to try to do this twice. Hopefully we catch about half and half. That's what we're shooting for anyway. It's not an exact science though. It's fishing. Yeah, exactly, it's fishing.
The salmon are suctioned up through a tube. The water is removed, and they pass through an electrical current to kill them quickly. Then they are put on ice in the hold to keep them fresh. While the harvest continues, at another pen, some salmon are getting their lunch.
Pretty small still, only a few months old. As the fish grow, the pellets that we feed them get bigger.
The young salmon in this pen will provide the eggs for the next generation. When they spawn, they will be taken to the hatchery across the island. Their young will eventually return to these pens. Feeding is one of the most important jobs at the site, and it is done very carefully.
The technician who's feeding them has a camera that sits in the pen. He monitors the fish continuously while as they're feeding and controls the amount of feed that's actually being given to the fish. We feed our fish to satiation, which means we feed them until they're full. Feed is one of our highest costs, so you don't want to be throwing it essentially out into the ocean.
Creative Salmon has recently received organic certification, a new development in aquaculture. This means that the fish are antibiotic-free and the feed and care of the animals is carefully controlled.
It's changed how we do things right from egg to the processing plant. It's really in our own best interest to have sustainable practices and to monitor what it is we do and to be aware of what it is we do. Our fish need clean water, they need healthy water, they need a healthy environment in which to survive and sustain themselves and to grow. There's nothing more important than the health of our animals.
It is a beautiful morning in Tofino, and the full hold of the harvest ship is ready to be unloaded. The fish come off the boat and go into the plant to be cleaned and packed for travel. The fish are washed, cleaned, graded, and weighed.
53, 25.
The salmon will leave by truck to a secondary facility later that day, so they must be packed carefully and kept on ice every step of the way.
from the third generation here at Lionsgate Fisheries, working under the same plant as my father and grandfather. The salmon industry is really important to the BC economy. There's lots of production, processing, and distribution, and all those jobs that are sustained throughout the year because of the salmon industry.
The fish from the Creative Salmon Farm are filleted, trimmed, bagged, and the whole fish are tagged. They are put on ice in styrofoam boxes and sent all around the world.
The fish are 36 to 48 hours old by the time they leave our facility. We ship across Canada 2 to 3 times a week. We ship into the United States, down the West Coast, over to the East Coast, and all throughout the Mid-States. We also ship twice a week into Japan.
The salmon that started as an egg in a hatchery on Vancouver Island and made its way on a harvest ship, a truck, and to 2 processing plants now makes its way to markets all over the world. Markets like this one on Granville Island, where they are filleted, portioned, and displayed for customers to buy and take home.
Being involved with the fish from when they're essentially eggs to the point where I'm barbecuing it and actually putting it on your plate and somebody's telling me that's the best fish I've ever had, that's just, to me, that's just awesome.